So what does Will.i.am, mosquitoes, and hardware got in common? They are all things we will talk about in the news this week. So let's discuss. Welcome to the In a Nutshell podcast with myself, Andrew Miles Davis, and my co-host Chris Branch. This is the daily 10-minute podcast where we take out all of the techie talk around generative AI and focus on what the everyday person, content creator, and marketer wants to hear. Now, we've only got 10 minutes, so we can only focus on one subject. And as it's Friday, today's the news. So we're going to go through some of the best news that we've come across over the last 7 days that we feel that you should know, if you don't know at the moment. So let's start. And the thing that kind of came across my desk earlier on this week, and it is something that I actually am looking forward to seeing where it goes, and that is Alexa. So Alexa's going to have a big revamp when it comes to how it's being used. So I don't know about you, but I have Alexa, I've got Google Nest, and because I've got an iPhone, I've got Siri. Now, all of them promised a lot when they first came out. They said they could be your personal assistants, they could do all of these amazing things, and they've been pretty much a letdown because I only use it to either find out what the time is, what the temperature's like outside, set a timer, or to play music. And even music is just a nightmare when it comes to playing it. But it looks like all of them are going to have some form of large language model connected to them. And it looks like it's going to be similar to how speech is in ChatGPT, where you can have real conversations. So I'm looking forward to this update because it's going to be a huge update. And if it goes down the route that I think it should go, and where I think years ago they wanted it to go, these little personal assistants can be quite handy, I think, moving forward. What do you think, Chris?
Yeah, definitely, mate. It feels like the actual agents that we were promised like 6 months ago. You know, there was a lot of talk about agents in AI, and it really feels that they didn't have the place. But obviously, we've known them, you know, the Alexas, the Siris and stuff. They were just not good enough to be agents at that time. So that's where I feel like agents will definitely be more popular. So really good shout on that one. On my news, a Perplexity deck has been making the rounds in the marketing sphere, especially because it's all about advertising. And we predicted this a few weeks ago. We said, when are we going to see advertising in AI? Turns out very soon in terms of Perplexity, probably Q4 of this year soon, which we're almost in already. So what's fascinating is that they've even said, look, this is how high traffic we value. This is how many educated people use us. These are the type of advertisers we're looking for, you know, beauty, healthcare, medicine, technology. You know, they've even said they're in a very strong position too as well, you know, like be very specific about who they want advertising on their platform, how the advertisements will be shown on their platform. They're really in complete control. But we said this was going to happen. It's definitely been confirmed that it's going to happen. So the golden era you talked about of AI when it had no advertising in it may be coming to a close very soon when it comes to these bigger products like Perplexity.
Yeah, I think that this was inevitable. And when I talk about the golden era, there's a few things that's going to kind of mean it's going to go out of the golden era. One is when it gets regulated, and another is when you start seeing ads. So this seems to be something that is going to be, well, everyone's going to follow suit. You know, you can be generating stuff in MidJourney, and usually you get 4 images, and now you're going to get 2 images, then an ad, and then another 2 images. Not saying MidJourney will do it, but I can just see that whole ad model being there. Now, bit of news that came across my radar, which I was actually quite happy about, is there's a new smart device. Excuse me if I get the name wrong, but it's Bizigo, so Bzigo Iris. So it's Bizigo Iris, and it aims to revolutionize mosquito control. Now, I live in Spain, so there's loads of mosquitoes. I would say at least 9 months of the year. And this piece of technology, this smart device, is going to be using AI to detect, track, and target mosquitoes, even in the complete dark. So I don't know when this is coming out. I know it's going to be about $340, but when it does come out, I think I'm going to get it because one of the worst things is sleeping and then you're just hearing bzzz in your ear. Can't stand it. So I'm glad that AI is going to be used to control mosquitoes.
Well, it looks like Mosquitos just had their AI Terminator coming in. That's genuinely terrifying. But also, we discussed in the green room, it seems like just a common like thing that could be a nuisance. It kills millions of people every year.
Yeah.
It's no joke how many people die from mosquito bites and malaria and all these terrible things that mosquitoes can harm us with. So that's a genuinely game changer, even though it may seem like a gimmick, because in other countries that's, life changing.
Definitely.
A weird thing that, MidJourney, we talk about them a lot. We think all of their updates are great, but then now they've, kind of gone an OpenAI move. They've done something quite speculative and they're being quite secretive, which is unlike MidJourney, to be honest. And it's just hinting at the fact that they're going to be doing some variation of hardware. To what degree, we don't know. Is it going to be a cool little Tamagotchi type thing to generate art? Is it going to be, something completely different? We have no idea what it's going to be, but they're hinting at it and they're putting, posts out on Twitter/X about hiring, hardware specialists. Personally, I've been a big fan of this, which has been their physical distribution of a magazine. So physical products is MidJourney. They're doing great on my radar so far. Really enjoyed the magazine subscription. They do a hardback book as well. But what it's going to be, who knows? But, we've talked about the rabbit being a complete flop and unnecessary. We talked about the other one, which was, the laser pin thing and humane pin. They were complete flops. So why hardware now? I'm not sure, because it's not on a good trajectory right now. Hardware and AI.
Yeah, I was surprised by this one. Especially for MidJourney as well. If it was OpenAI, I'd be like, okay, that kind of makes sense, or Apple or something like that. But MidJourney, I was surprised, and the fact that they're being quite secretive, either it's something where it's like a bit gimmicky, or it's going to be something really good. And hopefully it's the latter. But something that's not gimmicky and something that's actually not to do with hardware, but it's also to do with education. And that is, tech companies are being urged to develop AI tools aimed at reducing teachers' workloads following a government announcement that AI models will gain special access to Department for Education's resources. Now, this initiative, which was announced by the Education Minister, includes a $3 million investment to create a content bank of educational resources, such as assessments, curricular guidance, and it's all specifically designed for AI training. So it looks like education, where they were a bit, let's say, resistant to social media or other forms of digital, even mobile, it looks like AI is something that they're going to embrace. And when I say embrace, they're going to put money down to embrace it. So there's going to be a lot of educational resources, workbooks, lesson plans that's going to help relieve some of the stress for teachers. But at the same time, we'll put some companies out of business who do this already, unless they're the ones that's going to be using the AI technology.
Yeah, well, they might be best placed as tech companies already doing it. But like you said, it could be that Gen AI just wipes the floor and makes them devalued, similarly to like Duolingo or translation services that we talked about. But actually, it's really good to hear about the positive news stories for schools and AI, because, how many kids will be answering those lesson plans created by AI with AI. That's the issue that they've got. But yeah, it is what it is. At least it's benefiting the schools in some degree. Another random cool story. We talk about him a lot. Hopefully he'll come on the podcast one day. The legend that is Will.i.am. Talking again recently on a podcast, we heard him talking about his new launched venture, which is essentially going to be Gen AI Radio, which is a really cool idea. Like the idea that now we have Suno and Udio, which is the project that he's directly involved in. There are millions of songs being made on a monthly basis. Even we made a whole episode about Suno being in the top 5 of the desktop AI apps of right now. So think how much music that is to host and put out there to the world. And he's basically creating a platform for it. Now, this is important because it needs to come from someone big like him that can spread the word. Like if we started a radio show, we've got real credentials to do that, except obviously your experience in BBC and stuff like that actually would lend it quite nicely. But, Will.i.am is one of the best positioned people to get, new music out there through generative means. So it feels like a natural follow-on from Udio, actually.
Yeah. I think it's quite interesting what he's doing. As I said, he's going to be one of our dream guests to get on.
Yeah.
I was hearing that they're going to do AI presenters, which I wasn't too keen on. But again, sometimes the headline is more than what the actual delivery is. So we'll definitely keep an eye on that. And the last bit of news, as always, we try and end it on a positive note, and positive usually in the world of healthcare. And that is, we've spoke about AI being used to help cancer now, or at least detect cancer. Now, a hospital trust will continue to use AI technology after a trial found the software helped find bowel lesions, which could become cancerous. So what's happened is South Tyneside and Sunderland NHS Foundation Trust has been using a computer module called the GI Genius AI device, and it was used to help essentially spot things before they became cancerous. And the fact that it's been very successful, the fact that they've had over 43,000 new cases of bowel cancers each year in the UK, and 16,000 people has died from it, and also the fact that they tested this with over 2,000 patients, obviously, for it to continue working, it's been successful. So it's a good thing, and we're hearing some amazing things, and even some of the people there were saying we now use this technology routinely in our practice, and we really hope that it will be used more widely. So bit of good news there.
That's brilliant. Hopefully it's as valuable as the X-ray or the invention of any of that technology, because that changed the game when it came to diagnosis, and they could be proactive and not reactive.
Yeah, and that's real game changers. And that, in a nutshell, is the news this week.